Welcome to Weeds and Wilds Conversations. Today's guest is Jhavon Kashif, also known as Jay. Jhavon's journey is a powerful story of creativity, vision, and resilience. She's a creative entrepreneur and beauty innovator originally from Richmond, California, by way of Washington, D.C. She's the founder of Nail Bed and Bar, a Black-owned nail sanctuary built around luxury, artistry, and community. She's also the creator behind Abstract's Nail Art Press-Ons, a bold nail brand that has reached major retail spaces. Jhavon's journey is a powerful story of creativity, vision, and resilience. Please help us welcome Jhavon.
All right, awesome. Well, I am definitely excited to be here chatting with you today. My name is Jhavon Kashif. I go by Jay Kashif because most people can't pronounce my name. I am from Richmond, California, by way of Washington, D.C. I often say that I grew up bi-coastal, having best of both worlds. California being definitely a melting pot of diversity, and DC being the most epic Black area ever. So I
Yes.
have definitely had the opportunity to see both with having both of my parents from both East and West Coast. So that's definitely played into who I am today.
Okay. And when did you make your way to DC?
For good,
Yeah.
so I definitely traveled back and forth, but for good was definitely after high school.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so, what was your experience like growing up here in the city of Richmond?
Growing up in California, in retrospect, looking back at it, it was one of an experience that I wouldn't want different. Because as a young person, you don't realize how impactful your environment is until you're out in the world. And with California being so diverse, it exposed me as a young person to other cultures, other traditions. I mean, I remember being in elementary school and definitely celebrating Dia de Muertos or being going to Alcatraz for Thanksgiving or just celebrating Chinese New Year, all of those things. Even I can't recall a time where I did not have or celebrate Juneteenth. And then when I moved and realized that in other parts of the world, they're very isolated from other cultures because they were only Black. So that's definitely something that I've become to admire about my upbringing, and really just the exposure that I had as a young person. But it doesn't feel good, of course, being, in the inner city, being a young person, and realizing that, there is gang violence or there's poverty all in the community in which you are raised in or the environment in which you're raised in. So I would say for good, I did travel back and forth to DC, or well, DC proper, where my father's family is from, quite often. But when I decided to come to DC after high school, it was to come to Howard University. And even when I got here, I did not like it because it was not, there were no elements of the West Coast here. And so that culture shock hit really, really fast. And that is at that point where I realized, oh wow, what I really had back at home, which is, California, I still feel is my home, definitely had a lot to offer. But to answer your question, I grew up a very, very active young person. Um, I was a part of the Kids Who Care. I did Richmond PAL programs. I was a stepper. I was heavily into the church, based on my family's upbringing and, the cultural environment in my family. Um, so it was definitely, as an adult, I can respect the how I was raised in California, and I can really appreciate it a little bit more.
What was your experience like with the adversities?
The adversities of Richmond, I feel like I definitely was exposed to them. I don't think my familial status allowed me to be entrapped in them. So um, I definitely was raised in an environment that was nurturing and kind of eliminated my exposure. however they came. That doesn't necessarily mean that I was just, they were void, because they absolutely were
Yeah.
not void. But I feel like I definitely was afforded opportunities to do other things, because my family would, we'd go to Yosemite, we'd go to San Francisco Zoo, we'd do activities. And then I also didn't, my upbringing wasn't linear. I didn't just stay in Richmond. And I think that is one of those things that maybe some of my peers did not have. So, I mean, I'm truly a Bay Area kid. I have lived not only in Richmond, but Vallejo and San Francisco and Oakland and Berkeley and, all the things. So I feel like all of those things contribute to who I am. But I don't feel like growing up as an inner city kid, because at that time there were so many resources that was able to be a part of. I mean, how could I forget East Bay Center for Performing Arts? I mean,
Right.
those programs took us everywhere and
Mhm.
opened up our minds and exposed us to arts through other art forms like music and dance and acting and all of those things. Even the after school programs that I participated in as an elementary kid student or a middle school student. So I don't think that it served as an entrapment,
Mhm.
so to speak. But I definitely was exposed, and I definitely come from a family that will make you aware. I was aware of what was going on, but I was also guided not to go down those paths.
Okay, okay. And while you were here, you had started a business before. You had a clothing design business. And I'm mentioning this because
Did I,
sometimes you
Kiana? Did
did.
I?
Yes, you did. You had Jhavon, okay, splashwear. And I'm
Tape
mentioning
and glue
this.
will take you everywhere.
It sure will. It sure will. And sometimes when I look at like your nail designs and things like that, when I see them online, I'm reminded of some of the stuff that you did with those clothes. And so, do you feel like, I mean, is that, am I tripping, or is that kind of like, is your
No,
head? No. Okay.
no, you're
Okay.
not. You're not tripping. I think what what has happened is that I thought I was going to be at first I thought I was going to be a teacher. I don't know if you remember, but we was on our way to Dillon University, honey. Okay.
Yes. 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 Yes, I do.
So I thought I was going to be a teacher, and education was just where it was. And then but I always loved fashion. I always loved being creative. I always loved ripping stuff up, putting it together um, in different ways. And so now looking back, I feel like those were the little nuggets that were given to me to be creative, because I also love dance and I love music and I love, all the arts overall. But I think those were the little nuggets that were instilled in me. And now I get to actually do it in a way that is meaningful through nail art. So not going to college for education, but then going to fashion school is like,
Hmm.
okay, was this supposed to be the way from the beginning? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I definitely, I am not removed from what used to be, for sure.
Yeah. And, looking back now at the age that you were when you were doing all of that, there was a point where I'm pretty sure you were still a teen and you had a full out fashion show at a nightclub in San Francisco. And with you mentioning,
This is embarrassing.
with you mentioning like your dance background and everything, it was really intense. There were dancers, everyone had your fashions on. You had your friends there. Was that something you just kind of thought of and hopped out there and did? Like, how did that even come about?
So it was definitely one of those things. I was inspired. I was inspired. This is at the time I was in fashion school, and I was inspired by the New York Fashion Week. And it was on the brink of another event that I created after that, which was Spa in the City. And Spa in
Yeah.
the City was kind of separate, but the Back to the Bay is what it was called. It was
Okay.
a full on fashion show. And it was a birthday party. And I was just trying to figure out a way to mix fashion, of course, the celebration of my birthday, and make it this thing. Um, a nightclub setting so that it wouldn't just be the focal point, the fashions wouldn't be the focal point, but it would also be an environment for fun and excitement. Of course, dance in the club. Who doesn't have fun in the club? Um, but that was something that I just probably thought of and just went for. And that's kind of been who I am. And now as
Yeah.
an adult, I'm like, wow, I really just say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And we do it. It has, if Lord knows, if I would have known what I know now, then it could have been much bigger or much
Yeah.
grander. But even in that moment, it didn't feel grand. It just felt like, oh, this is possible. Why can't, if not me, then who? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Spa in the City was another thing that you
Yes.
had. And that was a really unique event to where you were you using art galleries
Mhm.
and having a pop-up spa experience inside of an
Mhm.
art gallery. And I
Yes.
just want to say, for people that are not familiar with the culture of an art gallery, they don't let people in there to do a pop-up spa, okay? They don't allow that. But this is an idea that you had and you're like, "Hey," and it was just like, "Oh, okay." And a lot of people were said no, but you got some really good quality yeses. And so there was spa in the city and you had these vendors there, and I hope you also had there your line of nail polish. And what was
Mhm.
it? Nail Glam is what it was called,
Yes,
right?
Nail Glam by Jhavon. Yes.
Okay. Was the vision at that point to open this nail spa? Did you know that you wanted to do this then, or did this like develop along the way?
It really developed along the way. So I moved from DC. Well, after college, I moved to Houston. And in Houston, I had to raise one of my siblings. But while I was there, I dabbled into marketing, business marketing, but in the spa environment. So, long story short, I worked in medical spas where all of these high ticket services, people would come and they would get their Botox and fillers and this and that. But their nails would always be raggedy.
Yeah.
And I always loved nails. I love getting my nails done since little.
Yeah.
Nails have always been my thing. And so was searching for a way to incorporate nails. So when I left Houston, I had the idea that, nail polish has so many toxic ingredients. How can I create a line of nail polish colors that are vivid colors or very nice bright colors, provide a long wear and not all the toxins because we're going to use nail polish. People are still getting their nails done. This is a little before shellac and gel polish was a big thing. Um, so I came out with Nail Glam by Jhavon, and it was supposed to be a subscription service. So I bought all of this nail polish. I did all the grunt work. We had to do labels. We had to do all the things, created boxes for them to be shipped in. And every month for, I think, $12.99 or $9.99, you would receive 3 nail polishes with a little card of what the manicure look of the month would be. I could never really get that going, but that's primarily because I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
um, but the manufacturer was in California,
Okay.
right outside of Los Angeles, and I think they were like in Alhambra, California. I had visited them, picked out all these colors, had them all shipped, did all the things, had a website, had photo shoots, all the things, but lacked the structure of the infrastructure of that business model in particular. Because now that I think about it, membership business models are one of the top business models in any industry because
Okay.
people forget that they're paying you every month, right?
Yes. Mhm.
We've
Mhm.
all been there. But beyond that, that was kind of the catalyst to Nail Bed and Bar. And what Nail Bed and Bar was supposed to be was is what it is still, a black owned nail sanctuary where we do dope nail art. I can be as creative and crazy as all my thoughts that I'm always filled with. And we service black women because we need it. Out of all my nail experiences, anytime I've gotten my nails done from a black woman, it's been in her home in a salon suite or whichever. And so it was a deep desire to create something that was accessible, because frankly, I don't like getting any beauty service in anyone's home, because I also don't do nails in my home because it's my home.
Yeah.
It's my space for peace. So that's kind of how Nail Bed and Bar came. But all of those other little things, they were just like, let me try this and see if it'll work.
Okay.
And that was many years ago. And now you see all these non-toxic nail polishes all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. And when I see them, you were the first person that I saw that from. I remember it saying that it was 5 free. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that going forward, my polish needed to be 5 free.
Yeah.
So you were the one who introduced me to that. I knew nothing about it, but now it's like I think I've even seen 10 free
Oh
recently.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
okay. So before launching this though, you were doing other things that kind of I don't want to say maybe afforded you the opportunity to be able to open your business and do it in the magnitude that you were doing. What were you like? I feel like I might could be mistaken, but were you like a real estate agent, or what were you
Mhm.
doing with real estate prior to this?
So when I moved back to DC, um, I did get my real estate license, and I was spent a few years managing another medical spa here in Maryland, and also doing real estate and property management. And I really utilized those funds to create Nail Bed and Bar. So that is a true pipeline of how you let your 9 to 5 fuel your dream, essentially. Um, but even that has a story, because on the day that, and I don't even repeat this often, the day that we received our license to open the doors, the property management company was like, okay, don't come back here.
What?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
it was a whole thing. But yeah, I definitely got let go on the day that we actually had the fire alarm. Uh, there's a lot of inspections, board of health, and all that. But on that day, and I remember like thinking I was going to work that day, and then coming right back to the salon, like, oh,
Oh,
well, here it is. Let's go.
so you really had to go hard at that point because it's
I
like
did.
this
I
bit.
did. For
Okay.
sure.
And
For
so
sure.
how did you prepare to open that place? What were you doing for marketing? Because you can't just open a place and say, come on in. What were the steps that it took for you to open it and be like confident in knowing that people were going to come in and patronize?
Oh, that was hard because I can't really remember. Definitely social media and organic marketing was a thing. Um, I do remember having one prior to opening. I wouldn't suggest this for any entrepreneur, honestly, especially in the service industry in this way. But I'm also a licensed nail professional. And I also had to obtain additional licensure to have the operation. So I had to be in the thick of it as well. Um, but any beauty professional will know when you go to school, they don't teach you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was learning on the fly how to also manage a business, operate a business, market a business, keep the doors open. But the way that we were able to leverage um, social media, honestly, it was like we started probably a coming soon campaign several months before. Unfortunately, a lot of the work in this space I had to do, from the floors to the windows to the paint of the walls to the construction of the shelving.
Yeah.
Um, because budgets are very tight when you're doing something like this. You just working off the salary that you have.
Yeah.
But it was definitely organic marketing, starting fresh, creating the buzz that this is coming soon, a Black-owned nail salon. We are actually in the Richmond of DC.
Oh wow.
We are.
Oh, look at that.
We're in Southeast DC, an area that is definitely. And when I say Richmond, let me clarify that. I would say it's the Richmond of DC, primarily because Richmond is so rich in history,
Mhm.
and it's that last stop on the train. And there are $1 million homes in Richmond, $500,000 homes in Richmond. But people say don't cross those tracks.
Yeah.
Don't go that way. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing here in Southeast DC. We're east of the Anacostia River, which is a clear delineation of segregation. There's more Black people in this area. There's a little bit more poverty, but they're $1 million homes right around the corner. Our schools aren't as great on this side of the city. We don't have the best grocery store on this side of the city. So even being located in this space meant a lot for me because I know what it's like to desire luxury in an area that you live in where you pay your taxes, and I'm just like, there's so much, it's so rich here. I want to be a part of that richness. Now,
Okay.
it's definitely I've had moments where I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Even I'm
Yeah.
having one right now. But this is definitely the Richmond of DC. It's called Southeast DC.
Okay. And I'm thank you for mentioning that part because that is something that people often struggle with trying to find a location for their business. And maybe the location is not in the most favorable place, but if you know the demographic, then
Mm-hmm.
you know the type of people you know who can be your client. And people typically don't like to travel more than a couple of miles for personal services. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, like you said, in school, they don't teach you a lot of things. You have to do extra things to really learn
Mm-hmm.
these tactics. So,
Yeah.
what did you do to be able to target your market to come into your place?
So that was very hard because I still have people, I still only have a certain market share because one, there's a nail salon on every corner. Two, I had to really market this as a destination. I had to say, hey, you're going to drive through some riffraff. You're going to see some things that you may not see on your way home. But when you get here, I promise you, this environment is not like anything else. We're going to provide a clean environment, a calm service, a quality service, and it's not going to be the cheapest because we're going to use top quality products. So making sure that that was a part of my marketing framework has been the only way we've been able to survive. Why I chose this location is the gift and the curse. One, it was affordable for someone that's starting up with just personal capital. But that also comes at a cost because my average guest is probably traveling 10 to 15 miles. But
Okay.
because we are one of the only Black owned nail salons in DC, that is an open space. We're not a walk in salon, but we're not in a suite or in a home or in a, you know, quiet pocket within another environment. You can walk right up to our front door. So there is a difference between brick and mortar. Um, and again, all of that comes at a cost. Outside of that, um, I definitely had to communicate that story. And even for me, I feel like I'm a rambler. I've done so many things that I can just talk about this, talk about that, talk about this.
Mhm.
But making sure that I communicate the pillars of what we provide, and constantly communicating that creates that desire to come and visit. But that was definitely not easy. And that's something I had to learn from
Okay.
podcasts, from this, from that. I mean, in the beginning, it was a crap show. I don't know if I can curse on here. I still
You
do like to curse, but
people do it. It's okay.
I'm a cursor. So it was a straight up crapshoot in the beginning.
So with you also like just mentioning the area that you're in and saying like right now you were just saying how you need to go for a
Yeah.
person to be able to come into a space like that and thrive and be able to employ people, be their supervisor, deal with the clientele in and out, you have to have a certain type of skin to do that. What do
Hmm.
you attribute your skin to? Like what do you feel like? Do you feel like it's a combination of like the things you learned along the way through your education, work
Hmm.
experience, your hometown? What do you think equipped you to be able to stand there and run that place in that location?
All of the above. All of the above. Um, from wanting to be the cool kid at school, back in Richmond, wanted to be the cool kid, but also the oddball, but also having, a family structure that was rooted in confidence, knowing who you are, preserving your blackness, knowing what it is to be a black kid, black woman, black, person. Um, the exposure to the arts, the exposure to what poverty looks like, the struggles, the challenges of that, and having a desire that, oh, if I can just have a space that I can go to that is a safe space, a clean space, and they respect my dollar. And then the other side of travels. I love to travel. I've lived in a lot of different places, but I've traveled to many, many more. And the exposure to how other people operate their business. Um, and then on the flip side of that is, even through all of this and even with all of that, I still have not arrived to a place that I thought I would be at. I thought I would have 5, 6, 7 salons. A few years ago, I was in California for several weeks looking for a nail bed and bar West Coast. I mean, I just received the EIN filings not too long ago. That was never able to come to fruition because the work environment is different. When you are a skilled professional, you require more, you can demand more. And social media says if you can sit in your closet and still make 300,000, why would you want to go and work in a salon environment if you don't believe in the mission that, Black women deserve a destination to have their nails done? If that doesn't align with you, and a lot of people it doesn't align with, so that also has been a challenge for retaining team members and hiring staff. And then the scarcity mindset of it all. Let me do this to keep this person happy so that they don't leave me. Let me hire Boo Boo to fix my lights and my electric because I can't necessarily afford the Fortune 5, the big electric company to come and do. So now I'm paying invoices in cash and I can't write that off. That's not a business expense. I didn't know that though. So it's just definitely been all of the things, as well as, you hire your cousins to come and paint, you do this, you do that. So it's just been life experiences that have contributed to where I am now. And also those things have definitely held me back in taking less risk as well. I mean, when I compare to my competitors, if you will, I definitely have had way more challenges. But also because I've intermixed myself. People come to get their nails done by me. And that is a hindrance because I can't work on my business and grow my business when I'm required to be at the table.
And what about your mom? Because your mom was a very strong personality. I felt like you and your mom were like, in my opinion, like your personalities were day and night. She was, I'm gonna say a fireball. And then she's also a military veteran. So, and when you were in California, you were living with your mom. So you're coming up under a woman that has this military experience. She's also a spitfire, just, you know, very unfiltered. But also, like, she was a very, like, a unique energy. And now watching you, I definitely know you have to have a certain type of like spirit to move through life and the capacities that you have and moving. And then you ended up raising your brother, and well, all of the different things that you have done. Do you ever, and I'm sure you do, but just like with your mom, like how would you connect her rearing to the person that you are right now?
Oh, the most shocking, I'm not going to reveal my age because I'm still 22.
Okay.
But the most shocking part about that is I'm every great component of who she is. And to me, it's shocking because, again, I mean, my mom nicknamed me like, I was the bougie one. I always wanted to be the
Yeah.
this one, the that one, the this, the da da da. But at the same time, I was the only girl.
Yeah.
I had brothers, and even on my father's side, there's only boys. So there's a lot of masculine energy there. So definitely a mouth that can cut you down in 2 seconds, but
Yes.
also the wittiness and the resourcefulness. Give it to me and I'm going to make it work with such little resources. And that's kind of something that I gleaned from her. The courage. I'll never forget. Actually, yesterday was the death anniversary of my mother. But I remember at her funeral, and my uncle said that one thing about her, she didn't care, but she had an unshakable faith. If it was something that she needed to do, something she needed to get, she was gonna have faith, and that faith may have been you was gonna give it to her,
Yeah.
even if you
Hmm.
didn't have it, but she was gonna make a way. And
Yeah.
so I feel like I embody her spirit in that way.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely, I again looking back at it, I wouldn't change it. I wish I would have
Hmm.
admired it more. I wish I would have acknowledged it more.
Hmm.
But it's always easier to say it when it can't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're here living loud, and so everything is the acknowledgement is there in the way you're living your life.
For
Um,
sure.
so, and then with moving to another city, just hopping up out of California, going there, even if you were there going for school, you don't have a community there. You have family, but you're just, it's a group of family. How were you making these connections? And I'm asking because that's something I feel that helps, people thrive when they move to a new place, is having the right community. Now,
Hmm.
granted, DC is definitely what we call one of the black meccas and very strong
Yeah.
there. So there's a
It's white
little.
chocolate now, though. Kiana, it's white
Okay.
chocolate. So
It is do
sad. So
it's doing it.
sad.
Okay. They doing it to us all, but that's all right.
They
We
doing
will.
it. They doing it. Yes.
So how did you go and introduce yourself? Like, how did you make those type of connections?
It was really well. I mean, you know me as a person, and you know that I have always been everybody's friend since forever. That's just my natural personality. I naturally gravitate to people. I'm everybody's bestie, or I want to be everybody's bestie. So making new friends has never been a challenge for me. But the challenge is that I do not have a good sense of discernment. So I can't tell when you're not right for me in that way. But coming here, having the foundation of my father and my cousins and my grandparents really was really helped me to grow my network or cast my net, if you will. Um, and I still have very, very great friends um, that I've had since the very time that I got here. But it was definitely, my cousin's baby mama is one of my good friends, or so at that time it was really the friends of my family that embraced me and kind of helped me get my footing and took me to the go-go, took me to the, because at that time I'm now of age. When I was here before, couldn't go to no clubs or anything like that. But now that I've come back and I'm of age, it's like, okay, you can be a little more exposed to the DC life.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was definitely the thing. It was making those friends in that environment. And then, this one get you a job over here and you make a friend at this job and all of those things. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so now I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but now you have product in Marshalls or TJ Maxx or
So yes and no.
okay.
And the reason why I say no is because uh the hope and prayer is that the way that wholesale purchasing works is that they purchased all of our first collection. We now own our second collection of abstract nail art press-ons, which are original nail art transformed into press-on form, and we mass produce it. I'll grab some.
Okay.
That box. Um, so we were able to launch. Actually, it's been a year now. Well, it'll be a year in May. A year in May, but we had the opportunity to pitch our product to TJX Brands, which is the parent company for TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, and then some. They have an Australian arm and a Canada arm, and we were selected out of the pitch because, of course, we all know press on nails is a hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother story for another time because I also feel like I'm kind of late to the market with this product because the idea was brought to me many, many years before I actually got the energy to do it. But these are abstract nail art press-ons. They come with 32 in the pack. All original designs. We create the designs here because we do produce a lot of nail art in the salon. And then we reproduce them as a full packaged manicure.
Okay.
So yes, they were in TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and again, because it's been a year, we hope that they are long gone
Yeah.
and sold out, because that's the name of that game. It's all based on how fast you can sell through in big retail.
Okay. So I didn't know that they were press-ons. I thought they were the other things that do you still
But
produce those, the
the
stickers?
nail wraps,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. I don't even have
Okay.
any nail wraps up here. Yes, we do still produce nail wraps as well.
Okay. So
Yes,
do you have e-commerce too? So can people like go online
yes,
and shop your product? Okay.
yes. Abstractsnails.com.
Okay. Okay. So what will you say to date are some of your most noteworthy achievements with your business?
Oh, you asked me this right now
Yeah.
after I just got the call with the tax accountant.
Uh-oh.
Um, um, just I mean, Nail Bed and Bar will be celebrating 8 years this year,
Wow.
September 1st. Um, we may be participating in Essence Fest for the third year.
Okay.
This is our second collection of abstracts nail art press-ons. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's
Are you
all
just like
been
being
a.
humbled or what?
I don't think I know how to. That's a trauma that I've inherited along the way. I never
Hmm.
celebrate anything that I do. So we have a pop up right now in the Smithsonian African American History Museum, and someone's
Wow.
like, "How dare you not say that?" I'm like,
That's see, we're talking about art again, and this is the Smithsonian. Like,
yeah.
really? Come on
But
now.
it's because it never stops. You're only as good as your last hurrah.
That's true.
And so that trauma has definitely plagued me as a business owner and as an entrepreneur. So I don't have the one thing that I can celebrate. That does not mean that I don't appreciate all the things that I've experienced.
Yeah.
So I haven't stopped to smell the roses yet. So I don't really know.
Okay. I guess we'll just have to follow you and just see for ourselves, huh?
Yes.
Well, okay. What about the truck though? I forgot to touch on that. You also have a mobile. Like, is there 10 of you or like what's going on? Like, because you have a mobile nail. Tell us a little bit about
Again,
that.
again, the mobile truck just got dropped off at the mechanic this morning, 7
Okay.
a.m. But the mobile truck, it was an opportunity for, it's called Express by Nail Bed and Bar, and that is what we utilize to do off-site events. So when we are bringing the Nail Bed and Bar vibes to you, we utilize the Express truck, and that's what that is. It's all outfitted. It's a boutique truck. It doesn't look like Nail Bed and Bar, but there's seating and there's drawers and it's paint, and of course there's artwork on the wall. Um, and that is our mobile boutique, where we can either render services, so our express services, our mini manicures, nail refreshers, or we utilize it to sell our products that we create.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you design this? I've never seen that before. Did you design that?
Yes, this is just our shirt. We design all the things.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a really unique uniform. Like I would never think to do that, but it's like I like that. That's
Thank
nice.
you.
Is
Thank
the is your
you.
you have clothing merch like that on your
Uh,
website? Okay,
no,
okay.
we don't have merch on the website because the merch is it's hard to produce.
Yeah.
Um, and so I had it like there's often like if we have enough, we'll put it on the website, but everything is so nothing is the same because we utilize a lot of like bleach splatter and all of that. Let me see. Uh, so yeah, like we have like sweatshirts and
Oh
things,
wow.
and because the placement is never exact, it kind of
Yeah.
eliminates me from putting certain things online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what were you doing out here at the winery? Are you doing a wine collab?
No. We've always served wine here in the salon, but before the pandemic, we served it in glasses. And basically, it's a concoction of other wines along with our proprietary blend and ingredients. So when I was at the winery, I was really just researching to see how, one, we can develop our own brand of wine. And that's a big undertaking. I don't think that's the direction I want to go in. But we do serve our own wine. Actually, I have to show you now that you asked. One second.
Okay.
So when you come to Nail Bed and Bar, we will serve you our wine.
Okay.
And this is a mango wine. And it's really, it has a gin as the base. And then this is our, these are the two flavors that we're featuring right now. This is our spiced rum drink, but it's wine and it's bold like nail art. It has its own little label. And we do all of these things in-house, which is another reason why it's like, I will never suggest anyone to do it like this.
Yeah, yeah. What it doesn't say how you wine is WY. What did I see?
We spell it WYNE.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah.
And that sounds good too. Rum and
Yes.
something nice.
Yes. So these are our proprietaries. But when I was at the winery, I was in search of some ingredients because the base for our rosé that we used to serve, the winery, the manufacturer of that winery, they discontinued the base. So we would use it and add our extra little stuff to it. We still do it that way. But yeah, and I was also trying to research how I could create and craft my own beverage.
Yeah.
But that process is pretty intense.
Okay. When did you know for yourself that you had left, I'm going to call it survival, and you were living? Like at what point did you have an exhale and say, okay, I can breathe now?
Mm, I don't think I have. I don't
Okay.
think I've gotten to that place. Um, and I say I don't think I've gotten to that place because I still feel like mentally I have to process that anything can change and I could be right back to the survival mode. Or I could be right back to, you know, I could something could happen. I could have nothing again tomorrow. So I don't think I have gotten to a place where it's like, okay, now I can exhale. I literally just got back from vacation a few days ago. But even
Mhm.
while on vacation, even though I had good sleep, I still had a lot of challenges with the operation. I had, team members out, people unable to log into the system, and I still had to work. So I don't think I have arrived into that place yet, but I
Mhm.
also don't know what that destination. I don't know. I don't have a benchmark to say, okay, when I get here, I can exhale because
Do you plan to define a benchmark?
mm, unfortunately, done so much comparison and it seems like the goalpost is always moving. So it's something I'm working through because
Okay.
I don't know what it looks like anymore. Like,
Mhm.
I thought I wanted this and I thought I wanted that. And then when I got it, I was like, oh, I just settled because that's the resources I had, or that's just, my team never grew to 25 people because, I could only get 5 people that actually knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because
Is
I've kind of
travel
like
is
settled on the way, I don't
okay.
really know.
Okay. Is travel your award system for yourself, or what is travel for you?
Travel is definitely because I'm not a vacationer. I'm a
Mhm.
traveler. So anybody that comes with me, they always tired. They're like, dang girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're going to this museum, we're going to this art gallery. Um, it is travel is the only way that I don't necessarily think it would be a reward, but it definitely is the only way that I feel like I can slow down. I'm not a
Yeah.
staycation person because that just means I'm going to open my laptop. I'm going to be looking on the computer, looking on the alarms. I mean, the cameras. I'm going to still be working. So like a long flight where I don't have Wi-Fi is like, okay, I can kind of think and create and ideate a little bit more when I'm
Okay.
not here. There was at one point it was really um, the environment that the salon is located in. Um, there's some neighbors next to us that they provide drug recovery services, and their clientele was really impacting my psyche. And just to see the just to see them really impacted my spirit from a creative um, perspective. And so when I travel, I have to kind of like see what else is out there. Well, it definitely helps me as a creative person to see other
Was
things
it
and experience other things.
what was it about the people? Was it just was it like, were they alarming? Was it triggering? Or what was it about them that was triggering you to feel like you needed to not see them?
It was probably triggering because you think of all the things that's happening on a higher level. I mean,
Yeah.
we're in Washington, D.C. I run to the White House, like
Yeah.
literally it's right down the street from me.
Okay.
Um, so it was triggering that they were in that position,
Mm-hmm.
and my desire to help and just always wanting to be the change for someone, and you know that you can't be because whatever their addiction is, um, they're seeking help, and my business is not a nonprofit. You know, I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
charging top dollar for this. So to be in this environment, it started to
Mm-hmm.
make me question like, am I in the right community? Because, you know, the average
Yeah.
person that may live in close proximity may not be able to afford my services.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all of
Okay.
those things. It's all of those things.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I'm going to stop for real now.
You,
One last question.
yes.
How many countries have you been to?
I never think about that because I've
You
traveled a
need to stop
lot,
and smell the roses.
but I don't think about that because I'm not like a I don't know. I've been to I'll say I've been to every continent except Alaska. And
Okay.
I will say I'm on my fourth passport in life. And the only reason why I'm on my fourth one is because my last one, uh, I ran out of pages on that one.
Okay.
Um, but I also had a passport as a little baby because my
Mm-hmm.
military parents traveled. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but I
Okay.
really don't know how many countries I've been to. I don't think that's important. And a
Some
part of
people
that,
count that. A lot of people count. I see a lot of these travel girls and they're like, this many countries,
I
that many
I
countries. So
know, but to
yeah.
me that gives me the it's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. That's why I'm like so quiet on social media, and that's why I don't. I think social media has definitely made me like because I be side eyeing people on social media, so that make me like not say as much,
Yeah.
all the things that I'm doing. Like I
Yeah.
don't be, because I'm just like you put in that, social media is nuts.
Yeah, it
Even
is.
though mentors and coaches all say that I have got to be more present on social media, and that's
Mhm.
also another a component of business that has held me back. So to
Yeah.
entrepreneurs and business people out there, you have to get over that hump and that hurdle. You have to tell the story. You have to show the work because the loudest people on social media get the biggest praise. They get the accolades, they get the opportunities. And I've definitely been looked over, passed over, because nobody knew I exist because I'm just the quiet one in the corner.
A best kept secret, right?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
If you could just think back to the girl that was just finishing high school and deciding, what offer I'm going with, what direction am I going into, and then also considering everything, the obstacles, the challenges, what would you say to her right now if you had 30 seconds to just give her something to equip her for everything that's ahead, of her? What would you say to her?
Stay connected to who you really are, what you came from, what you believe, and do not stop. Do not stop. Don't look left, don't look right. Look through the windshield, not the rear view, because it definitely gets scary. It gets hard. It's rough. It ain't easy. It ain't cheap. You'll definitely make mistakes, but you'll definitely win. And you'll never figure out what that win looks like until you actually get there. I'm still
When,
working on the win.
well, you're still working on it, but you're in
I'm
it in
working towards it.
okay. Okay, Javon. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever
Thank
it
you.
is. Um,
This is great. This is
yeah.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
I,
you.
I hope I answered all the questions. I hope that, my point of view and perspective is helpful.
For sure.
Um, I hope that, you know, I am a source of inspiration to the readers and to the viewers, because I definitely believe that regardless of the environment you grow up in, if you're exposed and you get the opportunity to see other things, you'll definitely appreciate it and understand that it was for your good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
I.
ma'am.
This was great. This was definitely great, and I'm inspired. So if nothing else, I'm
Thank
inspired
you,
by.
thank you. And I have to say that you've always been an inspiration.
Oh.
There have been encounters and moments that you and I have shared that I hold near and dear to my heart.
Oh. Oh.
I won't say it here because they're my best kept secret, but they are definitely the funniest moments I have ever experienced in life. And so I don't know if this is the right platform for that. however, however, definitely having, people in your life that help you grow and, are still connected to is definitely important for me,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
agree. And likewise, likewise.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, my friend.
Okay.